Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So my test video went pretty well. Most constructive feedback I had was from the missus, who said, "Why are you sounding so miserable?" So I will try to sound a little bit more lively for you all. I think I'm just going to start this video pretty much talking about what I'm going to do on the channel, and also I want to walk you through what's in my golf bag, because I know this interests a lot of people who play the game. There's a lot of newcomers to the game, or a lot of people who've played it for a few years, and I'll just talk you through my thinking and why I set up my golf bag the way I have. But if we start with the channel, I'm hoping to really play my TGC tours at least once or twice a week on the channel, and also look to get one of my society events. I'm in quite a few society events and quite a few different leagues and competitions, so I will also look to play one of them, and maybe just play anything that really interests me as well, and you guys. So please, as always, leave a comment, let me know what you want to see, and like and subscribe. But let me talk you through my golf bag as a quick intro to probably a bit of way of how I think about playing the game as well. So you'll see I have the full driver. I've used this driver whether I was playing on Master Swing or Pro Swing. For me, I don't know why, but the 295 driver from Bridgestone, I just seem to be able to hit it perfect more than any other driver. I've tried other drivers, I've tried shorter drivers, but it gets me, I like to get as far down the fairway as I can, and I'm also pretty accurate with it. So I stick with that one. It seems to serve me well. I've also always stuck with the 3-wood from Ben Hogan. For whatever reason, I prefer the 243. I know a lot of the top players likewise put the 248 yardage club in. I don't know why. The 243 seems to give me better options, and I seem to also be able to hit it a lot cleaner than any other club. So I like to have a full length driver, and as far a distance 3-wood as you can that your swing plane and your timing allows you, really. They are both beneficial to getting you on the par 5s mainly onto the green in 2. The next club, now this is new to my bag, the next 2 clubs. So I used to just play the driver, the 3-wood, and a 3 hybrid that went 218. Since then, though, I've switched things up a little and introduced a 5-wood to my bag, and also a 3 hybrid going 208. The reason for this is, I found since the turn to Pro, they've got a lot more tricked up courses and a lot more long distance par 4s. And I was finding myself having to either de-loft or loft the 243 or my 218 hybrid. So I thought, sod it, let's put an extra couple of long distance clubs in that covers me at more distances at the higher range, at the 200 plus range. You'll see also my 4-iron goes 195, so with the carry, it's traveling over 200 yards as well. And that's mainly the main reason for it. 5-wood, 225 felt like a good distance. I try to keep the distance between 15 and 16 yards between all my clubs from now on, so you'll notice that. So you'll see there's a 17-yard one, which is possibly my biggest gap on the board. And I'll talk you through my thinking, but normally you can make up those 15 to 16 yards with different types of shot shaping if you're comfortable with doing that. I am not comfortable with partials, hence I have the ranges in place as opposed to playing partials like a lot of the kind of top players do try to use the partials. It's not for me, never been able to do it. Loft and de-loft and a perfect swing tempo is just a lot easier for my style. So the 225 I'm comfortable with. The 208 is a club, and I'll come to this later on when I talk about my 6-iron. It's one that I've got under review. I like it, but I might be better off having a 3-iron in there, a longer distance 3-iron. I know quite a lot of players use the 215. If I can find a 3-iron between 205 and probably 215, I might switch this up, because I don't play the 208 very often. I don't like it, and a longer distance 3-iron actually helps you out with the heavy rough a lot better, and you get a lot further down the fairway. So this one's under review, and I think it's a good tip. If you play the game often enough and you use the same set of clubs often enough, you'll soon realize which clubs you hit more and which you don't. And I don't really hit the 208 too often, and when I do, I don't really like it. So this one is a club under review. 4-iron, this is Bridgestone Golf Tour BJGR HF2. I've used them quite a lot. I like them. The distance is good. It's a 4-iron as well, so it doesn't roll out as much as the 3-iron. So I just prefer having that in my bag. And this is all about spacing then. So my next club along, my 5-iron, is 182. Gives me 13 yards between the two, as you can see on the right. This is the TGC 4 Guru. It's got good forgiveness, which I also try and keep, and also good swing plane. So I'm not out the forgiveness, I go for the swing plane, and you'll see that through my irons. My 6-iron, again, is the one I said I'm not too comfortable with. It's the SimMax OS. It's got a good all-round stats. It's a good all-round club, but I just don't hit it as much. And I'm thinking maybe a lower yardage might suit me more. I don't know yet. It's a 14-yard gap though between the 5 and 6, so I think that kind of works. But then there's a 15-yard gap between the 6 and 8. You'll notice I don't have a 7 iron. I sacrificed that for my longer wooden hybrid at the top. But we'll see. We'll see. It plays all right. I've used it quite a lot, this 168, so I should get used to it. But I just haven't got the feel for it as yet. The 8 iron 153, one of my favorite clubs in the bag. I hit this quite a lot. Again, forgiveness. You can see it's good. Distance is good. The distance control is good. It's just a nice club. And that one with my 5 iron are 2 really comfortable clubs to hit. I'm confident in playing them. You'll notice then I switch back to the SimMax OS again then for my 9 iron, 140 yards. Again, I noticed with this and the 168, the 2 SimMax, they seem to have a lot more rollout than you'd expect. So I have to use this really for 150 yard shots. So again, learn your clubs, know their rollout is probably a top tip for me. You'll get, as you play it more and more, don't keep chopping and changing. Find clubs you're comfortable with. As I said, I always seem to go for forgiveness and swing plane over anything else, certainly in my irons and definitely in my wedges, because I think the short play is quite a critical part to this game right now. And the way especially if you play TGC tours, the way they've tricked up the courses now, you need to be able to control your shots a lot better and know exactly what you're doing. So that's where I am with them. You'll see my spacing on the right is pretty useful, as I said, between 10 and 15 yards per club, nothing more, nothing less than that. Which brings me into my wedges. And these are my favorite clubs. They're the fun ones to hit, aren't they? You know you're going to get it close. You can spin them. You can manipulate your shots a lot more. So I again I've tried to keep a 15 yard space in between each of them. So you'll see my pitching wedge is the Titleist SM8, high forgiveness, high swing plane. As I've said all the way along, best way for me to play, especially with my PS5. For some reason, I've got a weird left push on my PS5, so I need a bit more on the swing plane. I'm hoping that dissipates over time, but for whatever reason, this controller seems to be a little bit lefty loosey, shall we say. So I keep a 126 pitching wedge, really good club. You can loft that, you can make up the distance easily between that and the 9 iron, and also you can also loft it up and get closer to the lower yardages. So it's a lovely club in the bag, and it's a nice club to play. My next club up again is the grey Titleist SM8. So you'll see similar stats, bit more forgiveness, as I've said, always want a bit more forgiveness, and it's a good 110 yardage. It's a great yardage to have in your bag for a wedge, and it keeps a lot of control around the mid wedge shots. So I'm comfortable there. My sandwich then is the Bridgestone Golf. This, as you can see, maximizes my forgiveness. It means I'm just going to hit comfortably my shots, and if I do loft and de-loft, that little white bar isn't going as small, as you guys know, to stop it in. So that again, 15-yard gap, and then similar, my Lob Wedge is the same make, same Bridgestone. These are I used all 4 of my wedges used to be the Bridgestone. I just used to want to prioritize forgiveness, certainly when I was playing on Master. Now, not too fussed about the forgiveness as much, but because we're on Pro, but I'm just comfortable hitting these clubs. And what you'll see is now, and I just want to talk a little bit about this. Now that takes me to 80 yards. But the other reason why I have these particular wedges in my bag is because the pitch shots on the back of them. So my 50 degree gap wedge has a 70 yard pitch. My sand wedge has a 60 yard pitch. And my lob wedge has a 50 yards pitch. So from 80, I can hit a 70, 60 and 50 yard shot very comfortably. Then if you move into the flops, I have a 40-yard flop on my lob wedge and a 47-yard flop on my sand wedge. So again, I have options when I'm around 40 to 50 yards out. These 4 clubs also then give me different shots in terms of my my splashes out of bunkers. So I have a 15-yard splash as my minimum splash. Now if you think I got a 15-yard splash, a 26-yard splash, which is this one, and a 34-yard splash, or maybe 31, I can't quite remember. But again, what I've done is I basically start at 15 yards, and I have coverage now. I have a 15, 26, 30-yard splash, I have a 40-yard flop, then I have pitches covering me all the way up. So you'll see I very rarely need to play a shot. My chip shots are the only shots I play under 15 yards. Everything else is covered by my clubs in my bag and by full distance shots. What a lot of the top players do, they have longer wedges in their bag, and they do these partial pitches. You'll see them, some of them when you watch them, they'll draw their pitch all the way in and they'll pitch it. And to be fair, a lot of them pitch them in more often than I do. But with my 15-yard splash and my 20-yard splash that these two clubs give me, I just find it gives me more options, and they don't roll out as far. And certainly when I try and partial pitch a pitch shot 15 to 20 yards, I invariably do not hit the buzz. I don't know what it is on the PS5. The buzz just isn't really there sometimes. Sometimes it is, but I just always go past it, and then you end up smashing a pitch miles past the pin. Where if I know I've got a 15-yard splash in my bag, it takes all that worry out, and I advise that. So that's what's best for me. That doesn't suit everyone. I think what you need to do best for me is find clubs that suit you, find clubs you're comfortable swinging. Certainly, the more clubs you're comfortable get swinging at, they all have different timings, all have different aspects and different ratios to them. So just give them a go, but stick with a set of clubs. Don't keep chopping. You keep chopping and changing, it's going to keep messing up your game. So stick with what you're comfortable with. Find the distances you're comfortable with. For me, as I said, 10 to 15 yards between each club. Coverage from 15 yards all the way up to 243 at that basis is a pretty strong set of clubs. So feel free to copy. I haven't touched on the putter. There's no need to touch on a putter. Just find one you like the look of and that you like swinging. A lot of people say there's no need to do that. You can use any putter, but you can't. I've tried using candy canes and nachos and whatever else stupid stuff they got on there, donya kebabs or whatever it is, and I just did not like playing with them. I couldn't putt as well. I keep the standard, the thin putter. It doesn't get in my way. It looks nice, and I don't know why, I just line up my shots a lot better with it. So people seem to say putters don't, it doesn't matter which one you use. It really does. So just find one you're comfortable having on the screen and lining up your shots with. So that's pretty much it in terms of my golf bag. You've had the yardage on the screen. Hopefully that helps you guys setting up your golf bag. The next couple of videos coming up this week will be a TGC Tours video and one of my society events. The new season in Earlys kicks off this week, kicked off last Thursday actually. It's a 2-round event, so I've got to play that at some point. So hopefully I'll get them up for you in the week. But have a great week, guys, and I will speak to you soon.